I know we've all been waiting for that in the Cleveland area. And also, I know that this is a very, very important night for all you basketball fans. So we will make sure that we will stick to the script so you can get out in time to cheer on our Cavs so that they are 2-0. I also would like to start out this evening by thanking our executive team. If you guys would please stand, who will be assisting me to speak this evening. Our treasurer. And I think we also have some of the rest of our leadership team here. If you could please stand. That's you, Mr. Johnson. I also would like to thank our board members this evening. If you are here, please stand. Our board president, Ms. Carter, board member, Mrs. Boynton, and perfect timing, board member, Mr. Akins. And I did get a couple of notices from some others that told me that they were on their way, and I will recognize them as soon as they get here. I also would like to take this opportunity. I also see our BEA Union President here, Ms. Duncan. Thank you so much for coming out. The OPSI President, I think he was out working, and that is Delmar Calhoun. So I also want to thank him and his team this evening. And I also see that we have a lot of our local officials. So if you guys could please stand, I really do thank you for coming out. I know you have some busy, busy schedules. Sorry. This evening, we will go over a couple of things. I definitely will kick it off by just kind of giving an overview of where we are as a district, where we're going, and some generalities to some things that are going on in public education. But most of all, we want you to be aware that we are continuing as Bedford City School District to build a brighter future. We started off our year kicking that theme off. As you know, we got a lot of great things happening in the district, and we'll continue to talk about that the rest of this evening. But I did want to let you know that we are so excited to have you here, to have all of you. We've not had this large of a crowd come out, and we also are live streaming this, so I want to thank Gary and our communications coordinator, Jamie. So please, if some individuals were not able to come, let them know that it is out there on our BCSD webpage, TV channel that we do our board meetings on as well. Thank you so much. We always want to start out with that guiding principle. A lot of people talk about the why of what we do. We always want to have that mission. We talk about our vision, and we talk about our core values. Our non-negotiables, a lot of times, is what we talk about as a leadership team here in Bedford. Underneath our goals, here, a lot of times I know those of you that are not in education, or some districts refer to it as a strategic plan. Through the Board of Education, we also have that, I think, at every board meeting. You guys refer to our goals. The Ohio Department of Education and Workforce, they do require us to have a one plan, and Dr. Harrington will talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But through our district leadership team that comprises of our administrators and teachers, they go through in each building. They also have goals, and these are our district goals that we will be working on for the next 3 years. So we talked about our why, and we all know that our tagline continues to be the pride, the tradition, the achievement of Bedford City School District. With that being stated, it is my honor and my privilege to address you as the superintendent of the Bedford City School District. I am deeply proud of the progress we have made, though I know we still have work to do. the challenges that we navigate, and the unwavering commitment that drives every decision we make for our students, our schools, our community. Let me begin with our most important charge, academic growth. Over the past year, Bedford City School District has made some measurable strides in ensuring that every child, regardless of their background, identity, or circumstance, has access to high-quality education. That means challenging curriculum, personalized learning, relevant teaching, and a classroom experience that encourages critical thinking, creativity, and curiosity. We are not just preparing our children for a state test. We are preparing them for life. From literacy to mathematics, to advanced placement and career tech. Our goal is to ensure that each child we serve has the tools to succeed long after they graduate from Bedford High School. The vision does not come to life on its own. It takes hard work, dedication of our public school educators, our support staff, our administrative team, each of whom plays a vital role in delivering evidence-based, research-driven instruction every single day. They are at the heart of our district, and I want to publicly thank you for your passion, your resilience, your professionalism, your dedication. You bring our vision to life in classrooms, in the cafeteria, on the buses, in the hallways, and beyond, making sure that every child feels seen, heard, supported, and valued. In Bedford, our commitment to rigorous curriculum implementation is not about checking boxes, nor are we about just meeting compliance. It's about creating experiences that spark learning and unlock potential. We are actively investing in professional development, and Dr. Harrington will talk a little bit about that and how that aligns to student achievement. We talk about instructional coaching in Bedford City School District and academic support structures that ensure every educator has the tools they need to reach every child. But academic growth cannot happen in a vacuum. It must be sustained by the strong foundation that includes financial integrity, and I know Taylor will get into that, and strategic stewardship of resources. Despite recent legislative changes that continue to put pressure on public education through the restrictive funding formulas, unfunded mandates, and shifts at the state and federal level as in regard to policy, we remain fiscally committed, responsible, and we soar towards sustainability. I want to take a moment again to acknowledge our treasurer. I know you came in the middle of the year at a very difficult time, but you've done an amazing job of continuing us on that right path. And I want to let you know, Taylor, I really appreciate you. I also want to thank our board for your continued support, for your willingness to also listen, but also your willingness to challenge us to ensure that we are doing our best for each child that we serve. And again, our executive leadership team. I know that you also had to make some very difficult decisions. And again, you all came in at a very difficult time, but you take on that challenge straightforward with no question. Collaborative work and your thoughtfulness to protect and manage our district's financial health. Through careful planning, decision-making, we have positioned Bedford City School District to withstand the external pressures without sacrificing the quality of education thus far. Let me be clear. Public education is a right. It is not a privilege. And I often think that some people forget that. Every child deserves a free and appropriate education. And we will continue to fight at the local, the state, and the national level to ensure that this fundamental principle is upheld. Regardless of the legislative guardrails, our priority remains our children, to serve our students each and every day. We will choose them every single time. I often hear people talk about their North Star, a guiding principle that keeps them grounded. For us in Bedford, that vision is not a fixed point in the sky. It is a forever evolving, forward-thinking canvas. And on that canvas, our children are the artists. We provide the brush and we provide the paint. But they decide what their future will look like. They choose their path. They define their dreams. They define their destination. Whether a student aspires to be a doctor, a lawyer, a secretary, a bus driver, or anything in between, we are here to support them, their dreams. We love them, and we believe in them. We are not in the business of molding students into one version of success. We are in the business of helping each child discover their own version of success. As often I hear parents and guardians say, they send their children to us every day, not just with backpacks and lunches, but with hopes, with dreams, that we will educate them, protect them, we will open doors for them. That is a lot of sacrifice and trust in today's society. And we do not take that lightly. So I definitely want to thank you, our families, our communities, for believing in us. Thank you for choosing public education. Thank you for choosing Bedford City School District, as we know that it is competitive and you have options. We thank you for giving us that opportunity to help your child thrive. To our students, you are the reason we do this work. You are our future leaders, thinkers, dreamers, change makers. You inspire us with your determination, your willingness to take risk. No matter your background, your journey, your destination, we see you, we hear you, we celebrate you, and we will value you. Our Bedford City School Districts, to you, I offer my deepest gratitude again at this time. From our BEA members to our OPSI members, which include but are not limited to our teachers, our OTs, PTs, our SEL team, our bus drivers, aides, bus mechanics, to our secretaries and administrative assistants, our treasurer's department, as well as our counselors, to our custodians and our maintenance crew, and our administrative team, our paraprofessionals, and our nurses. You embody the spirit of service that defines our district. Your compassion, your commitment fuel our success. I thank you for your countless ways that you go above and beyond every day. Together we are facing challenges. There is no doubt. We live in a time where the value of public education is questioned, when funding is threatened, and Taylor will talk a little bit about that. When politics creates obstacles instead of creating solutions. But with this being stated, I ask of each and every one of you, Please do not be discouraged, yet be empowered. Because we all know that education is the great equalizer, a powerful tool for justice, opportunity, and social progress. As public educators, we cannot and will not back down. We will not slow down. We must continue to show up and therefore rise up. I want our community to know and understand that Bedford City School District is the type of district that will not simply react in the moment. This district is striving to shape the future and be proactive. A future where students, again, are not just prepared for high-stakes tests. Though we may not always agree, please know that we are striving to create an environment by which each family feels heard and respected and supported regardless of your social or economic status. A future where schools are the pillar of our hope, our achievement, our pride, our dreams. The public education in this district, you choose education, not because it's easy. I know that you choose it because it matters. And you choose us. As the superintendent of the Bedford City School District, I want you to know that I will also continue to choose you, our students, our families, our employees, our support staff, our administrative team, and our entire learning community, which is comprised of 4 excellent municipalities: Bedford, Bedford Heights, Oakwood Village, and Walton Hills. I am honored to serve you. We will continue to choose you, our learning community, every single day. Before handing this presentation off to you, Taylor, because I know you're just so ready for that, I ask that we please remember this. Our greatest strength lies in unity, in our beliefs that every child deserves a champion for them, in a belief that a child can achieve. Each child can achieve. In our commitment to building a better tomorrow together. I personally want to thank you for your continued support for me, for your prayers for this district. I thank you for your belief. I thank you for being a part of this incredible journey towards academic excellence. We are Bedford, we are strong, we are proud, and we are forward because we are Bearcats. I want to thank you, and at this time, I will turn it over to you, Taylor. Some water now. Yeah, you can use the clicker.
Okay, where's this arrow?
It goes down. Use it down for the arrow.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Very nice turnout tonight. I was shocked when I saw it because of the nice weather in the Cavs game, but I do appreciate everyone coming here to hear about our school district. Before I get started, it is an honor and a privilege to be the new treasurer at Bedford City Schools. I want to thank the Board of Education, Dr. Johnson, the executive team, BEA, OPSI, all the rest of the staff members that aren't affiliated with them, the community members, council. I really appreciate coming here. It's been very nice welcoming. I can say true-heartedly that we've done a lot of hard work since I got here, and we're continuing to do the hard work. And, you know, Dr. Johnson has been amazing welcoming me, and I can honestly say that everything that she does, every decision she makes, it's with 100% the kids in mind. Like, she makes those hard decisions, and she does it all for the kids. So I want to give her a round of applause again before I get started because she deserves it. Okay. So I've been doing this for about 14 years now, and I've learned over that time that people aren't as passionate about school finance as me, and I understand it. So I'm going to try to keep it high level as possible, not get into the weeds, but I do want to touch on things that Dr. Johnson had said. So this is our 5-year forecast that we presented in March. This is based off the written plan that was board approved on February 20th. If you kind of look at this at high level view, you'll see our revenue is the green. There's a slight increase when you go from 25 to 26. The reason behind that is we did see an uptick in kids. When we opened up Career Tech, we brought some kids back to the district. But after that, we're pretty much flatlined because we don't anticipate any new kids until maybe the new buildings open up. You usually see an uptick. But other than that, that's it. We're not getting any other support from the state. You know, the Fair School Funding Foundation. Is it fair? That's, I guess, up to determination. But you know, right now it's not looking that fair for districts like Bedford. You'll see in the blue our expenditures. You know, we're at the mercy of inflation these days. You know, we don't anticipate that, you know, subsiding anytime soon. So while the blue continues to rise, our green stays flat leveled. And with that, you'll see the yellow line, our cash balance continues to drop because of that. So right now, this is our 5-year forecast. I will be doing an updated one on the May 1st board meeting. So 8 days from now, we'll have a better picture. But this is what we filed in March to reflect the written plan that we had just passed with Ohio DEW. So this is where our expenditures go as far as per pupil. You'll see that 22% comes from our residents, the property owner's portion, and then the rest comes from state, federal, business taxes, and everything else. Right now, House Bill 96, they want to change this pie. They want that light green level, the money that the community puts in from their property to kind of go up. You know, they don't like seeing 22%. They want that to be in the 30s and 40s, and they want the other funding to go down. So that's what we're fighting with right now when we talk to our legislators. We do receive federal grants. Right now, we're kind of up in the air about whether that's going in the future. We don't anticipate it going away. It's just going to be handled differently moving forward. You'll see from our federal grants, 55% is salary, 12% is benefits, and then purchase services is 14%. A lot of that is from our special education kids, IDEA Part B, because we do need to contract out a lot with those kids to make sure they have the services that public schools are required to provide for them. And then we purchase supplies and a little bit of equipment out of these federal funds. One thing I can say, you know, it's a positive note is we did pass a bond issue back in the fall of 22. We were able to get OMAP enhancement when we did our bond anticipated notes, and with that we were able to save about $400,000 to $500,000 with that enhancement to back those notes. That was a $95 million issuance. That money though is dedicated to our new buildings. I don't want that to get confused as operating money because that's a different pot that we work in. So with that, we are able to not make cuts to the buildings that we don't really want to make. We want to make the kids, you know, have a nice place to come to in the fall of 27, 28, and then when the new building opens up later on. And with that, I hope that, and on a positive note for Dr. Harrington, because I didn't want it all to be doom and gloom. And thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everybody. Hopefully, as you're here, everybody found some joy in their life today, something made you laugh or smile. And I say that because when we find those things, it enables us to show up for those that we care about. And most importantly, in the profession that we have, that's the students that we serve. So hopefully we can find that. And if you haven't found it yet, maybe when you go home today, before you lay your head down, you can find your joy. When I woke up today, I didn't feel my normal 5'8" today, so there's your laugh for some of you. So again, my name is Dr. Kenya Harrington. I'm the Executive Director of Academic Achievement. When we think about academic achievement, we have to start with our report card. And reminding everybody, as a district, we are a 3-star district out of 5 stars. The state of Ohio measures the performance of our district in 6 report card components. That's achievement, progress, gap closing, graduation, early literacy, and then college, career, workforce, and military readiness is just getting started, so you won't see a star rating for that as of yet. So as we saw some great things happening within our district, we also saw some areas of growth. I want to commend some individuals for their work in addressing those areas of growth and need. And I'll start with the high school team, Ms. Lewis, Ms. Gowing. I'm going to say Ms. Reddick. I think I saw her in here as well. Because what we found as we looked at our graduation rate, some things were amiss for us as a district. So we looked at some structures and protocols and procedures that we have in place, and we made some adjustments. And we believe that the high school graduation rate for the upcoming year will be higher, positively impacting our district rate. So I want to commend them for that. And the other area of growth, early literacy, I want to commend Ms. Martin, the elementary principals, so our primary principals, our intermediate principals, and those individuals who serve on the early literacy committee, coming together monthly really to look at what do we have in place to really address the needs of our students through the gaps that we've identified, and then how can we support our teachers through their efforts in making sure that they're providing instruction that's meaningful and relevant in closing those gaps. So thank you to them as well. As Dr. Johnson talked a little earlier about our district goals, as she stated, the Department of Education and Workforce, they ensure that we have a one plan and it needs to be updated every 3 years. This was the year in which we started our new goals through our One Needs assessment, bringing individuals together to really look at what do we need to do to keep moving our district in the right trajectory. So when we talk about the district goal number 1, by 2028, BCSD will increase our report card component ratings in achievement, early literacy, gap closing, and graduation by improving student achievement in ELA and math at the elementary and secondary level. Now, the difference in this versus what you saw with Dr. Johnson, I wanted to make sure we captured how intently we're working at addressing the percentages that are needed to move the district. So you'll see a lot of different percentages here by grade level. And what we're trying to do is make sure we get close as we can to that 80% threshold. And we look at what's previously happened and what we need to do for each of our grade bands. For goal number 2, we want to look at attendance and then also focus on that CCWM, or college, career, workforce, and military readiness, because we want to support the work of our pathways and CTE. It was a major initiative. I commend Dr. Three and Mrs. Robinson for their work bringing pathways back to our district. You'll hear a little more about that a little later. And we want to focus on attendance and increase by 6% district-wide so we can reach the 94% threshold. The one thing I wanted to share as we talk about all of this work, how are we capturing it, how are we monitoring it? When we talk about the state, we're looking at things as it relates to improvement and achievement, and we have to really be able to explain what we're doing and how it's happening. So the state requires us to put things in a platform called EdSteps, but everybody doesn't have access to EdSteps. For a district, what we try and do is create a spreadsheet that gives everybody equal access to provide insight, feedback, and work together collaboratively at the buildings and district level to really see what we're doing as it relates to our strategies, our action steps, responsible persons, funding sources, and then what is the evidence that we are capturing to show that we're moving in that right direction, and then how are we analyzing that evidence? So who is it impacting? What is happening? Why? How? And when? And then what are our next steps for sustainability and or if we need to make some adjustments? So I know you can't really see everything on here. Hopefully you can see it's a lot on here, because what we're trying to do is just really show that it's meaningful work from the district level that trickles down to each building, and then how do we support those buildings and those teachers through their TBTs and their building leadership teams. When we talk about the district, we understand that there are initiatives, obligations, and responsibilities that we hold and we upheld that come from the state, but that also come from us. So the first thing that you see on here is our reading achievement plan. What we understood is through the performance of our district, there were some things that we need to do, but we need to support our teachers. So how do we continue to provide professional development that's going to be meaningful around explicit instruction that supports their endeavors as they work with our students? Also, we wanted to talk about a district writing strategy, so we came together, I think in February, really to look at races. So restating the question, answering the question, citing evidence, explaining the reasoning, and then summing things up. So when we did that, we understood that we weren't going to jump right into it this year, but we wanted to be prepared for next year. Now at the secondary level, we understood that the middle school and high school have some other things that they're doing with writing, but everything connects back to Ohio Reads and the science of reading and making sure we're moving in that right direction. Our literacy decision tree from grades K to 5, really focusing on what are we doing for tier instruction? How are we supporting tier 1? How are we making sure we're supporting tier 2? And if there are issues at tier 3, how are we addressing those? And then we moved to M-class dibbles this year. We're always testing, and I understand that's a point of frustration at times for students, parents, and teachers. But what we wanted to do is move away from paper pencil for dibbles and move to an electronic platform that also prepares the students a little more as they get ready for OSTs, which is all online testing. I kind of referenced already our early literacy committee and final graduation committees. Also at the high school, they entered into a partnership with AVID, Advancement via Individual Determination, a 5-year strategic plan, really with a mission of closing opportunity gaps for students as it relates to career and college readiness. So what are we doing again on the college side and the career side? Because we understand that everybody's passion is a little different. So I commend the high school for that endeavor as well. We always talk about how we're making decisions and how those decisions should be rooted in data. The one thing we've done for the past 3 years is partner with the ESC and work with someone by the name of Mindy Geschke, who comes out during the summer and works with our administrators to really look at what she captured as our OST data dashboard, allowing the principals to analyze data in the summer, understanding where those gaps are, so they can have those meaningful conversations with their teachers, developing plans of how they're going to address certain things. But then when we come back for convocation, how do we then roll that out to our teachers so they have access to the OST dashboard as well, so they can look at it from a teacher lens? We've also moved to the centralized reporting system, or the CRS. Again, a different avenue or a different platform to really look at data, to make informed decisions, to understand what we need to do maybe differently or what we may need to replicate in other buildings or grade bands so we can continue to be successful for our students. Always our teachers are looking at high quality student data so they understand what they're doing as it relates to assessments, but then also their instructional planning and delivery. So again, how are they doing things that are going to make sure things are relevant for their students, but then also addressing and assessing in a way that allows them to impact the students in a positive way. Excuse me. This year, a lot of conversation has been held with the new administration about federal funds. What are federal funds? How can they be used? We're going to get rid of federal funds. What does that do to school districts? Here in Bedford, we've been very intentional and meaningful and specific in how we've utilized our federal funds within the last 3 years. As it relates to Title I, really meeting with building leadership to talk about what are the needs as it relates to what we call the pyramid for ELA and math. So what supports are needed? Are there resources? Is there professional development? How can we provide supports to students? That may be materials such as in-hand books or maybe software. When we talk about Title II, again, going back, we use these funds for professional development opportunities. And that's not just for teachers, but we try and enhance the opportunities for teachers to be exposed to professional development that's going to their understanding and their growth and development. And then our Title III for our English language learners. Again, this is not a large sum of monies, but it is enough to support partnerships with families and other agencies that support these students with needs. Title IV, for me, Title IV is one of my favorite funding components, I guess you could say, because the restrictions aren't as stringent. It allows us to really focus and use this monies for any building, any student, teachers, but really focusing on what we can do to enhance educational opportunities, what we can do to improve the student climate as it relates to learning, and then also what can we do to enhance technology within the building and or district to support learning. We also have our early childhood education grant led by Mrs. Erin Black, who has done an excellent job at our preschools, really making sure that we continue to be 5-star or gold rated for both buildings. And then working with Dr. Threed, our Expanding Opportunities Grant, which focuses on advanced coursework, career pathways again, personalized learning, credit recovery, and academic acceleration. We also have McKinney-Vento funding for our students and families that are experiencing homelessness, working with Mr. Valters and Mr. Chris Thompson, really making sure that we're addressing the needs of students experiencing homelessness, and then also providing support and resources to address that need. So through all of these different endeavors for federal funds, we've really been able to work and help our teachers, administrators, and counselors really understand how to lead the efforts, analyze the data, and really support the Science of Reading initiative through professional development. We've also been able to partner with parents and families, provide support and resources to the home. So it's a extended support and not just happening at the school level. An example of that would be our home libraries, which we started a couple years back. When we talk about the implications if federal funds are eliminated, I had shared a video and I really talked about the reduced resources for students. We really try and use federal funds as a supplemental to really assist in supporting our kids. We also understand the potential for job loss for teachers and support staff, larger class sizes, a negative impact on special education and students with disabilities, a negative impact on student outcomes, and then adverse influence on student engagement and motivation with these limited opportunities. When we talk about students, we understand that passion is important. So we understand that sometimes federal funds allow us to hone in on what their passions might be. And without federal funds, we lose that, or we may lose that. And that's something we don't want to hinder our students as they continue to develop. When we talk about the performance of our students and opportunities, right now we have 40 gifted and honors courses, grades 3 through 12, 19 advanced placement courses, grades 9 through 12, and then 323 students enrolled in gifted honors and AP courses, grades 3 through 12. So I think we should give a round of applause for our students for that. So as you can see, there are a lot of great things happening here within the district. We're trying to make sure we're being intentional, as I've said before, doing things in a meaningful way and being supportive. I continue to say the Office of Academic Achievement is really about support. Sometimes it may not feel like that because we have to adhere to mandates and expectations from the federal and state level. But the reality of it is, when we talk about achievement, we can't achieve if we don't support. So I always want to share that. And even if it feels opposite, I always welcome open conversation and open dialogue. Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Commander.
I was not being a jerk, Kenya. I just needed to move it up a little bit. So, sorry. All right. So, good evening, everyone. I'm JC Commander. I'm the Director of Athletics here. So, remind me if my phone buzzes. I'm waiting to see if we had a clean sweep tonight. Heskett track team is outside right now doing a great job. The varsity baseball team took care of that school over there on Mustang Way. And I'm waiting to see how softball does because they're over there right now as well. So it's a great time to be a Bearcat. Let's just call it what it is. So, happy to be presenting to you today. I want to start out by obviously give my thanks to the board, members of the executive team, Dr. Johnson, as well. I am a gentleman who, I'm in year 2, and I think I'm very happy to say that I work with a great group of people who offer nothing but guidance and support to me as I find my way through this position of leadership. It's been great working here. My wife is a Bearcat. She came out of here in '96, so she was very excited when I told her I was coming on board. I also want to speak to the members of my team. Mr. Dan Brinson, I call him the most popular man in Bedford, came through here, works here, has been a big supporter, and it's good having that guy who kind of knows the community working in the department with you. Also, I need to shout out Ms. Heather Layton, who does a ton of work for the department as well as our secretary. All right, so probably my favorite part of the slide, talking about all the cool stuff that we do. BHS, HMS together, 22 interscholastic competitive sports between the 2 buildings, which is a lot. 16 of those 22 being at BHS and HMS together, meaning we offer that sport at the high school and the middle school levels. Currently a member of the Lake Erie League, and it's a very competitive league. Obviously it's known for basketball, but there are other sports that are coming along as well. And again, I think the place that we're in from a competitive standpoint, we're getting better on a daily basis. I think that Bedford is a place where the kids like coming, and that's gonna kind of guide me over to this next part of the slide. This is probably the stat that I'm the most proud of. When I say student athlete, that's a big thing. I think we live in an age where sports is a huge moneymaker, and I think sometimes it's very easy to lose track of why kids are in school. Athletics is an extracurricular. I know that Dr. Johnson speaks to education being a privilege. Playing a sport is also a privilege, it's not a right. So that's the standard that we like to hold our kids to here. That's my key stat up there, the one I'm most proud of. We have a thing called preseason academic All-Americans, where we keep track of what the GPA is of all of our kids when the season starts. If they're at a 3.0 or better, they are what we call a preseason academic All-American. We throw a perk at them by letting them get into games for free. Again, kind of a way to motivate them. To date, all 3 seasons, because we're also underway with spring already, 278 of our kids were preseason academic All-Americans. So what? Now I have to tell the truth. The number's a bit inflated because some of those numbers are multiple sport athletes, but I count each kid separately as, okay, if you're a member of the basketball team, you're also a member of the football team, so I want to keep the numbers separate. But I think what that speaks to is our kids are getting the classwork done. And that's not just a me thing, that's a coach thing, that's a lot of collaboration and support from our high school teachers, from our middle school teachers, from our high school administrative staff. Our kids understand that if you don't do what we ask you to do in the classroom, then playing's not really necessarily going to be an option for you. And we try to kind of pound that message in, well, pound's the wrong word, sorry. We kind of try to convince them that's the way that they need to go, because they're going to encounter that same thing when they get to school, meaning college. Doing the math, what that number averages out to based on the number of sports that we offer, roughly 13 kids per sport have a 3.0 or better. So again, a key stat, and it speaks volumes to a lot of the collaboration and the effort that is going into making sure our kids understand that student word comes first between student and athletes. Moving on here. Intramurals, a huge part of what we do here. In terms of what we were able to offer this year has been a bit of a shift. But again, looking at those numbers, okay, we had 125 kids participate in our intramural football program, meaning camps and things of that such, and then 85 participating in volleyball. For us, I think that can directly connect to both the popularity, but then also the success of those programs. We had a football program that went to the state playoffs this year. We had a volleyball program that improved one step in terms of their league standing. So I think our kids are understanding, and our parents are understanding, that we've got to get our kids involved earlier if we want them to be able to go compete. So the intramural program is a program that we're going to continue to utilize. I implore our coaches to get involved with our intramural programs as well. And again, it's that pipeline thing where if you see the kids who are playing at a young age and they see our head coach who's vested, our parents see our head coaches who were invested early on, they're much more likely to want to be a part of what's going on here because they see the plan. Last step here. I'm just gonna light it all up. There we go. So just basically kind of a look at, one more, sorry. Just kind of basically a look at all that we offer at both buildings. I think the key stat there is through, I think, being very disciplined with our funding and how we go about spending money, we're able to remain at a no pay to play type of situation. And I think that's huge in a community like Bedford because, again, we have a lot of kids who are multiple sport athletes. So again, trying to do what we can to ease that burden on our parents it's very important to us. I guess in closing, before I hand it over to Dr. Three, again, I will just say that I think it's always a great day to be a Bearcat, but athletically, we are on our way. We very much are. So proud to do this job, and I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Three.
Good evening, everyone. I don't have any jokes for you today to make you laugh, but I am average height, so I don't have to move the microphone. So, but I am pleased to stand before you to talk to you about the things that go on in my department as human resources. But a part of human resources, I oversee not just human resources, but I oversee CTE, which is also career technical education. I oversee SEL, social emotional learning. I oversee nursing and then special education, which Ms. Armstrong will come up to speak when I'm done to speak more about special education. So I might be over HR, but I have other departments that are under me that I'm pleased to oversee. So when we're looking at human resources, just a little bit of demographics about our staffing. So we employ 658 employees, and that covers classified and certified. So you may be thinking, if you're not in education, what does that exactly mean? Classified staff are your bus drivers, your paraprofessionals, your school nurses, and did I say paraprofessionals? Yes. So, but when you talk about certified are the teachers, everyone that holds a license, a certificate. So altogether, we have 289 classified staff, and we have 369 teachers or certified staff employees. We are happy in Bedford City Schools that we have 220 of our teachers who hold master's degrees. Yes. And this year, we've increased our master teacher. We have 23 master teachers, and these master teachers go through a rigorous, they have to put together a portfolio. It has to be reviewed by our master teacher committee, and then they get awarded master teachers. So we have 23 master teachers. Out of these demographics, we are proud because we have past alumni who are in positions right now, which we have some I'll just recognize real quickly. We have our BHS high school principal who is an alumni. We have board members who are alumni, and we have some directors that are alumni, and the coordinator of preschool is alumni. So we do we want them to come back home. We want them to work in our district. We also have hiring practices. Our hiring practices really emphasize reflectiveness, empathy, commitment to ensuring that every student has a high quality education. So in saying that, one of the things that I did at the beginning of the year when we meet as the leadership team at our retreat, we talk about what are our goals for our department. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff on that screen, but I wanted to pull out the main key phrases to our goal in the Human Resources Department, and that's cultivating, maintaining, recruiting, developing, and retaining talented teachers, talented bus drivers, talented lunch aides. We need people who will love on our kids no matter what position you're in. So we align our human resources practices with our district strategic plan, or our one plan is what I'll call it. And we want to enhance our teaching practices. We want to improve student outcomes. That's all a part of what we look for when we're interviewing candidates. So how do we do this? We accomplish this goal through evaluation, recruitment, and retention. We want to make sure that when we're evaluating our human resource needs or our recruitment needs, that we're using student enrollment data or the trends, our class sizes, our program growth to anticipate staffing demands. We also ensure that staffing aligns with our district policies and priorities. We want to have our regular conversations. We always have regular conversations with principals and department heads to understand the site-specific needs of each building. So not hopefully, but in doing all of that, it makes us fiscally responsible with our hiring practices. And then we get to recruiting, and one of the things that we like to do is we like to find the right people for the right positions. Okay, and when we do that through our interviewing process, we're making sure we're asking those critical questions to get them to think, to get them to talk about how they would problem solve. And if they can't do that, maybe they can't do that because they're fresh out of school, then we provide them with scenarios to see if they can at least tell us what they would do in a situation where they have to make some decisions, or how they would ensure that each student has high quality education. So we're being very strategic with our recruitment. And then with our retention, we want to make sure that we're having mentors for those teachers, that it starts with the 3-day orientation that we have, the 3-day employee orientation. We're Bedfordizing them. That's what I usually tell them on the first day when they come in. We're going to Bedfordize you over these 3 days. You're going to learn about our policies, learn about our procedures, learn about each department and what each department does. And then we give them a bus tour so they can go around and they can see the schools, because when you work in one building, you're kind of stuck there. You don't all the time get around to all the other schools. And then beginning next school year, I'm going to start having new employee luncheons with them so that they can pick my brain and I can pick their brains on how we can continue to make your first year a success. So that's HR. We're going to move a little bit into social and emotional learning, or our social emotional supports. So Bedford is pretty unique because when I talk to other people, when I go and I network with other school districts, again, there are a few schools that have all the SEL supports that we have. So as far as supports, we have school counselors. We have one school counselor in each one of our primary buildings. We have one school counselor in each one of our intermediate buildings. We have one in our middle school, and then we have 5 that's divided up alphabetically in our high school. They're all a part of the social emotional team. Although maybe when you were in school, they really weren't. Well, when we were in school, they really didn't have social emotional learning. So it was just the guidance counselor that you would go see. In addition to the school counselors in each one of our schools, we have a SEL team, which consists of 5 SEL interventionists, 2 social workers, 2 mental health therapists, and a social health teacher that's in grades 3 through 5. And then finally, we have our school-based health, which it consists of one school nurse per building. We have one district nurse that oversees all those nurses. And then we have Beachbrook as an alternative if families want to seek services where they can get over the weekend or when students aren't in school. So this is our SEL continuum behind me, and everything that we do kind of falls with this SEL continuum. On this continuum, it has all of our programs that we use for SEL support, from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade. So any new SEL interventionist that we may hire, or anyone new coming in, or just a teacher that may want to know, so what do we use when a kid is experiencing this, and what type of programs do we use? They can always take a look at the SEL continuum to see these are the programs we use, and these are the grade bands in which we use those programs in. We usually keep this out too when we have SEL events, so parents can pick up one of these and just have knowledge of what we use. Speaking of SEL community events, we'll go right into some of the events that we've had thus far this year and what's to come. So every year we have our annual Welcome Back to School Family Affair. And that's when we have vendors, and those vendors are mental health vendors, we have food vendors, we have Metro Health, University Hospitals, Cleveland Clinic vendors. We're going to try next year to have the mammogram mobile van here for that family affair, but it's just for parents to come out and get more information about how they can support their kids, or perhaps how they can support themselves socially and emotionally. This year, I want to thank, and with these SEL engagement events, I want to thank Faith Gordon, because she's the coordinator of SEL. She has done a great job in making sure that we have events for our parents to come to and get more educated in the social emotional realm. So this year she put in place the Together We Can, and these are 3 virtual events throughout the year. The first one dealt with school threats, policies, preventions, and interventions. The second virtual Together We Can event was centered around bullying versus conflict. And then the third one that's coming up at the end of May is the Together We Can event, and that's going to be about closing summer gaps. So if you haven't had the opportunity to join one of those virtual meetings, it's very educational, and I encourage you to please join in so you could see and get an understanding of, you know, what's the difference between bullying and versus conflict? Or let's talk about how our school is supporting school threat, you know, how they're handling school threats policies and what our policies and preventions are. And then we have, each school has their individual SEL night, which I hope that you've been coming to. Now we're going to move right into CTE, or Career Technical Education, and this is the one that I'm very proud of, and I want to thank Carla Robinson. She's been very instrumental in helping us bring these programs back. So I just want to give her a round of applause. So Ms. Robinson and I worked all last year to bring our programs, all of our CTE programs, back to Bedford City Schools. So we currently have 16 pathways. 16 pathways for our juniors to pick from. And we introduced 8 new pathways this year. Our CTE programs provide opportunities for all of our juniors to take, to choose, have the opportunity to choose a pathway that they want to go into. And with us bringing these partnerships back, with us bringing all these pathways back, we have maximized on our partnerships, bringing more partnerships into the district. Why is that so important? Because we have to have a place for our students to go and do what they call work-based learning hours. I want to give a kudos to Mr. Walker, because just last week, he had Rockwell Automations come in and sit in our engineering and robotics class. We have partnerships with Metro Health. We have partnerships with university hospitals, and the list goes on and on. But we're really excited about the future, the continued future of our CTE programming. If you take a look at this screen, on the pathways that are in green, those are all the new pathways that we brought back this year. If you take a look at the pathways in the black, those are the pathways that we had. Those were our existing pathways. So we're very excited. And I will say that next year we'll be adding VisCom. So we're very excited about the future of our CTE programming and the opportunities that our students have. Just give you an idea, these are some of the partnerships that we have. We have a partnership with Tri-C. That's where our culinary classes are being ran out of now. And then we have partnerships with beauty salons, barbers, so that our students can get that hands-on experience. So lastly, to end my portion of this is, I want to make sure that you are aware of some upcoming events. On May 31st, we have our BCSD 2-mile 5K run and pancake breakfast, and the theme of that is Together We Thrive. Okay, so if you're available on that day, please come out. Let's have some fun. Let's fellowship together for a very good cause. And then the last one, which I get excited for all the time because I know they have a good time, is the senior prom. And when we say seniors, we're not talking about 12th graders. We're talking about seniors that are 60 years or older. We have a prom for them every year for them to come out, and that will be on June 7th. Both of these engagements you will see in your emails soon. So please keep abreast of everything that's going on in Bedford City Schools, because it's an exciting time. I'm going to now turn it over to Marian Armstrong, who will come and speak a little bit about special education. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. It's hard to believe I'm closing out my second year here at Bedford City Schools. And in those 2 years, it's been my privilege and my honor to get to know this community, but especially the staff that works with our students. Every day that I go into the buildings, I see our teachers being creative, I see our teachers going above and beyond, and I see our teachers working with our families to make sure that our students get exactly what they need so that they can be very, very successful in the future. So I'm very excited to talk about our special ed department because we have a full continuum of services here. So anything our students need, we can provide. If our students need a general education classroom with a little bit of extra support, we can provide that. If our student needs a small group classroom with more maximized support, we can provide that. If our students are having challenges and are not able to be in a building, we can provide supports outside the building as well. So that is not always typical for every single school district, but I'm very excited that the Bedford City Schools are committed to all of our students. Our related services staff is phenomenal. They are taking the lead as more and more of our students come in with higher needs than they may have in the past. Our related services professionals are stepping up and leading the way in how to help our children. Especially I want to give a shout out to our occupational therapists because they are working very hard to create sensory spaces in all of our buildings and to teach our teachers how to help regulate our most dysregulated students so that they can become more academically motivated. We also have a huge contingent of paraprofessionals, and I cannot say enough, they are boots on the ground people. So they are the ones that are working intimately with our students, making sure that all of their hygiene needs are met, all of their daily living skills needs are met, all of their academic skills are met. So I am very, very excited when I get to work with our paraprofessionals because they do wonderful things for our students. Taylor talked a little bit about that piece of the pie was purchase services. So we do have some contracted services here at Bedford City Schools, and we find them in the forms of like audiologists, vision and mobility specialists, and these are professionals who we may not need somebody on staff because we may have 4 or 5 students, and this is more fiscally responsible to contract out for them. So Dr. Johnson is a visionary. She is always looking forward. And we were looking at our students and we said, wow, we have a lot of students with a lot of special needs who are coming into us with autism. And in the past, we have not really had a program for them. And so our students were being placed out of our district, and these are our children. So Dr. Johnson said, you know what, we're not sending our babies anymore. We're going to keep them in-house, and would I create a program with her and with our staff to help maximize the students' potential? And I said, sure, why not? Then I get a cold call from a program called Success for Autism, and they said that they have heard that Bedford is a place for special education, and they would like to partner with us to help create a program for students with autism. The timing was crazy. So this year we've been working with the Success for Autism program through a fellowship that they got a grant from the state of Ohio, and they have helped us set up this BEAR program. It is a program for students who are not able to manage their behaviors and their academics in one of our typical school buildings. We have 12 students at Mount Zion right now who have made such crazy strides that it just brings a tear to my eye when I think about it. Today we started potty training somebody who has not, he's 7 years old and he's been wearing a diaper. We have students who have been nonverbal their whole lives who are starting to talk. We have students who weren't able to sit in a seat, who are now sitting for half hour at a time, doing worksheets and doing activities with their hand. It's just amazing. I'm just so excited. The goal of the BEAR program has always been to return these children back to their homeschool buildings. And I'm really proud to say that we are working on transitioning 2 of our students back to Carrollwood. These 2 students tore up the school building. They were tough. And they were just not able to regulate themselves. They were not able to sit in a classroom. And right now, every single day, they're going to Carrollwood at 2 o'clock. They're participating in their encores. They're meeting new friends. They're meeting new teachers. And they will be there full-time next year. So I'm so excited for these kids. Part of what we try to do, too, is practice their social skills in a social setting. So we did take our students to We Rock the Spectrum, where it is a playground or a therapeutic gym for students with autism. And this is just a few of our pictures of our kids. They had the best time ever. So we really enjoyed that. But we also look at what happens after high school, because that's really what our job is as educators, is to create productive citizens who are happy. And all students have the ability to be productive. All students have the ability to contribute to society. And one of the programs that we have here at Bedford in our CTE program is called the Job Training Program. And these students, this is a program specifically for students with disability who may or may not be very successful in a general CTE program. But if a student with disability wants to take a CTE program and they are able to do so, we are encouraging them to do that. Those students who are not able to do that, we do have a job training program. They spend 2 years with Mrs. Natali. She does a great job. The first year, they're working on work skills here at the high school. And they're working in the cafeteria, they're working in the closet, they're working with the SEL department, and they are working around the school building to learn their job skills and social skills, because being able to interact with a customer is extremely important as well, and that's a big part of their job. And then in the senior year, we take them out into the community so that they have real-world experiences. Right now, they're going to Marco's Pizza, they're working at Planet Fitness, they're working at Habitat for Humanity, and they go out and they interact with the community, they work, they have specific jobs there, and our hope is that we're going to build a list, and that our students are going to be hired after they're done working with these programs. So we're very excited. Our special ed department is growing. This is another new program, and we are excited to see what the future brings us. So I'd like to introduce Mr. Waters.
Thank you, Mrs. Armstrong. I'm going to use this cordless mic. It does not work?
They won't hear you online.
Oh, okay. Well, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Samuel Walters. I'm a proud graduate of Bedford High School. This year I serve as the executive director. If anyone knows me, I cannot sit still, okay? All right? That's why I wanted the cordless mic. But moving on. This year I serve as the executive director of operations. Okay? It worked for everyone else. The arrow? Yay. I got it. So one of the things I want to talk about today, I'm really extremely proud of the department that I oversee, because 3 of the supervisors that I oversee actually are Bedford graduates also. And after me, Mr. Ellsworth is going to come and talk about a very exciting component that's going on in our district, which is the buildings. And so a couple of our goals that we wanted to do this year is kind of just maintain have a high level expectation for what we have currently. So our department will maintain a high quality level of service to our students, our staff, our buildings, and our community. The second goal is related to our environment. where all BCS students will receive a high quality, comprehensive, and meaningful education through a healthy, clean, and safe environment. And so this presentation, you're going to see some really fun and exciting things from our department. So the departments that I oversee is our technology department, the nutritional services, transportation, our Title IX, as well as our registration. As I said before, 3 of the 4 people that I'll go over today actually are Bedford graduates. So I'll start off with our transportation. I'm going to ask Ms. Tabor if she would stand. She's a proud Bedford graduate. Ms. Tabor has been working really hard with her transportation department. And one of the things that she has implemented, well, we will be implementing this next year in the fall. And this is called BusRight. And BusRight is an app that you can get, and this is pretty cool. You can get this app on your phone. You'll be able to track your child from when they leave your house, get on the bus, go to school. You'll be able to track them when they leave school, get on the bus, and get to your house. And so one of the cool things about this particular app is that it really right sizes our district. It right sizes our transportation department. It gives us shorter routes, more fuel efficiency, which is huge. And then it also holds our drivers accountable as well. So our routes aren't as long. So you'll be able to see your child where they're at, when they're coming from, when they get home, school, and everything like that. So this is a really cool app. We encourage you to get that for next year. Our second department is our nutritional services. And is Miss Dixon here? Jennifer Dixon? Yeah, would you stand? Hey, Jen. Jen also is a proud graduate of Bedford High School. She is doing some phenomenal things in our nutritional services. One of the things that we have is our Bibi Bop program. It's an Asian grill. If you guys seen the Bibi Bop restaurant right down the street, we have that actually in our high school and middle school. And so these are some of the things that we're offering at the middle school as well as the high school. It is served at Heskett at the 3rd Thursday of the month, and then at the high school, the 4th Thursday of each month. One of the fun things that I really enjoyed with Ms. Dixon was last year, about a week ago, we had iced coffee. And so me, Ms. Polito, and several other students and teachers were drinking coffee at 11:30, and so we're all hyper and running around. So it's pretty cool. So she's doing a great job with there. But these are some of the things that we offer with Bibi Bop and the Asian Grill. Another cool component that Ms. Dixon has done with this particular department, she did not forget about our little ones. And so we have the FFVP program. And this is our fresh fruits and vegetable program. And so twice a week, all students at Central, Glendale, Carrollwood, and Columbus receive a healthy snack. So they eat breakfast, then they have lunch, and then they receive another snack. And I will be honest, yes, I did eat some of the snacks. And so they're pretty cool. They got grapes, squash, sugar snap peas, mangoes, and many more. So excellent job, Ms. Dixon. Can we give her a great round of applause? Because this is really fun and really cool things that we're doing with that department. This next department is our instructional technology. Now this young man, I'm really proud of him. He is a proud graduate of Bedford High School in 2019. 2019. He is a supervisor of our IT department, Mr. Antoine Corbett. And I have to pick with him because he has this saying that he always does because he helps everyone. He'll say, I got you, for sure, I got you. And so whenever one of our laptops go out, he'll come in and says, I got you, don't worry, for sure. So he has us, and it's for sure. And so what he does, he has a great program here. He is responsible for 8,000 Chromebook devices throughout all of our buildings. Again, he also does our E-rate funding, and this is pretty cool because we have deadlines. And so this deadline that happened to come up was during spring break, and it was end of March. And so he calls me, he texts me, he's panicked because everyone's kind of out on spring break. And I said, Antoine, I got you, for sure. So he does the E-rating, and this basically is money that's put towards enhancing our district's cybersecurity, boosting our internet connectivity, and improving redundancy for our servers. We got a couple things going on for this summer. We have, as the end of the year approaches, we have our technology goals. We're preparing for our commencement ceremony, which will be live streamed via YouTube. And then we have our smooth rollout of our devices for 6 through 12 students who are attending summer school program. One quick marketing thing I want to share with our parents specifically. Earlier I said that, Antoine is a little over 8,000 Chromebook devices. So parents, we will ask that you please take care of your Chromebooks. There's a lot of cost cutting and cost serving that we have done. Antoine and his department has actually repaired a lot of the Chromebooks in-house, so we don't send that out to get repaired. That's a great cost savings. But we would ask that you please take care of those Chromebooks because they are very, very expensive. Antoine and his department does an excellent job of maintaining those, but we will ask that you help us maintain those so we can continue to serve our students. And lastly but not least, I'm gonna ask Ms. Darlene Reddick to stand for you all know who she is. Ms. Reddick. Ms. Reddick is our supervisor of registration and enrollment. And that is a very hard job. It's a very hard job because you're dealing with many of our parents, our teachers, our students, and sometimes it's kind of a thankless job. So we do appreciate you, Ms. Reddick. But here are a couple of things that we want to really advertise this year. We have our Welcome to Kindergarten sneaker ball for the class of 2038. Yeah, wow. And so one of the cool things that we do every year at the beginning of commencement, we have our kindergartners line up, put their commencement robes on and their hats, and they march the graduating class out. So parents, you must complete registration by May 15th to receive an invitation to the sneaker ball. It will be held May 17th from 10 to 12. Also, if your child currently attends preschool within the Bedford City School District, you would need to RSVP your child for kindergarten. So again, we do have preschool at Central and Glendale for preschool, but if you want to register for kindergarten, you do need to do that by May 15th. Also, if you just want to register your child and they're not in kindergarten, to the right, yeah, my left, your right, registration is done online. Registration at bedfordschools.org. We're happy to serve you. Here's an important component. I won't read all of that at the bottom, but call or email Mrs. Reddick. If you register your child, whether they're first grade or 12th grade, here's a key component to this whole registration. If your child registers and enrolls on a Monday, they won't be able to start school till that Wednesday. So please do not think that, hey, they're enrolled, they can start that day or the next day. We have to give our teachers ample time to prepare for your child, get proper material. So we try to give them like 24 hours a day in advance. So if your child enrolls Monday, please be patient with Ms. Reddick and that entire team. Do know they'll be ready to roll the following day about 24 hours later, all right? That being said, Mr. Ellsworth.
All right, so I am the last speaker, I promise, and I will be very short. I know what a long day it's been for everybody. So I think most of you would agree with me that every student deserves a 21st century education, and every single student. Not only do they deserve it, but our society demands it. If they're going to go out into society and be productive members of society, they need that education. In order to get that education, they need 21st century facilities, not facilities that were built in 1905 or 1953, it's where we are today. So thankfully, the voters of this community did agree with that statement and approved the bond issue in November of 23. For the last year, we've been working hard with our architects to design our first two new buildings. Those designs are substantially complete. We have just finished bidding the first part of the first school, which will be a new middle school, which will be located across the street. Now I have my glasses on, so I don't know if I'm hitting the right button here. The wrong way. There we go. So this will be located across the street on former Chanel High School property. You'll see Northfield Road on the right side going up and down. So this is the shape of the building and where the building will be located. The nice thing, one of the great things about this new building is that we will separate all of our bus and vehicular traffic, which can cause a lot of congestion during the school day, especially at arrival and dismissal. So buses one are on the north side, vehicles one are on the south side, and never the twain shall meet. And then students on buses will enter through our auditorium entrance, in our gymnasium entrance. And then car traffic and walkers will enter on the Northfield entrance. So rather than getting to a lot of nitty-gritty details, I'm just going to share some pictures of what these new buildings are going to look like. So this is the middle school. This is the front entrance. This is what you would see if you were facing the building from Northfield Road. And some of these images, this is another angle of that front view. These are our academic wings. So there are actually 3 different academic wings, a 6th grade wing, a 7th grade wing. Those are what you see there. And then behind the 7th grade wing is an 8th grade wing. These wings are separated by doors that would close automatically in the case of a lockdown or an emergency of some kind. And, you know, they're fire-rated doors. And, you know, there's a lot of natural light. You'll notice the windows are high up. We want natural light in our buildings, but we also want to maintain safety. That academic area, there'll be a shared education space, and it'll all be lit by exterior light. It's going to be beautiful. We do have some interior renderings that I'm not ready to show to you yet. When the school year, when we come back to school, you'll get to see some of those. This is just a nighttime view showing some of the lighting work that we're doing to emphasize the building. You know, it is on Northfield Road. That's a prominent area. We want this building to be something that our community is proud of. This school should last at least 50 years and provide education for our students, for the next generations of students that come through here. New primary school. So the second building that we'll be building, and it'll start about a month after the middle school, is a new K-2 primary school. This will be located in Bedford Heights behind the existing Heskett Middle School. So you see the Heskett here on the lower left-hand corner. That's the existing Heskett Middle School. Under this plan, that will become a 3-5 building when the new middle school is complete. The darker shaded area in the upper right-hand corner is the new K-2 primary school. So that will have 2 academic wings. It'll have a kindergarten wing, and then it'll have a 1st and 2nd grade wing that are on a 2-story, that are 2 stories. One story will be 1st grade, the 2nd story will be 2nd grade. While we would prefer to have all of our students on one level, this site did not lend well to that, so we do have a 2-story solution here. Over on the right-hand side are the wetlands that are back there. But you'll see a little drive coming down through Columbus, down to Columbus Road there. That is going to be for bus traffic only. And so we will have a gate, a radio operated gate down there. And so bus traffic will come on there twice a day to pick up and drop off students. We'll be consolidating our transportation, have K through 5 students all right together. That will provide a lot of efficiencies for our taxpayers as well. Vehicular traffic will come in off of Perkins. We will be separating the vehicular traffic for the 3rd, 5th grade building and the K-2 building. Again, with the idea of keeping congestion down as much as possible for our community. The playground you can see there is right in between, right behind where that 1st and 2nd story is. So here's some pictures just to be quick about it. This is our nice little sunset picture of the front entrance of the school. You can't really see the color well in this picture, but one of the things, we met with a number of community members, students, staff, and one of the things that people said that they wanted in our primary building was color. So there are green accents that you can't really see here in this light. This is the 1st and 2nd grade wing. This is if you were standing behind the current Heskett Middle School looking back there. Another front entrance view. And then, while this isn't what the playground will look like, these are just little placeholders, but that is where the playground will be. They will have views of the wetlands, and they'll be right by the cafeteria and gymnasium. So, groundbreaking for our new middle school is scheduled for May the 10th. I believe that's a Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. We invite you all to come out for this very important day. We haven't built a new building in this district since the 1960s. So it is a big deal, and our taxpayers really came out and supported us for this issue. It is very much needed for our students. There are future phases. There will be a new high school that begins construction next summer. I don't have any pictures to show you. We are just starting design on that. And then in the future, there'll be a new 3rd through 5th grade building that will be funded almost entirely by the state of Ohio as part of the Expedited Local Partnership Program. They will be providing up to about $33 million for that new school. Unfortunately, they can't tell us when that number comes up. We're hoping it will be in the next 5 years, but it could be a little longer than that, but we'll wait and see. So that, I, again, can't show you any of that, but that will eventually replace the existing Heskett Middle School, which is the youngest of our buildings, built in 1968. And with that, one more slide? Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know what happened to it. Oh, well. Oh. Oh. Maybe? It won't go. I'm sorry, there was supposed to be a video, but it won't go, Jamie, so. We'll send it out to him. It won't go. All right, sorry. I know how it is when technology doesn't work. But we do have one other thing. I apologize because I know Jamie, Cole, and Gary put a lot of work into an intro video here. I'll try one more time, Jamie. All right. Can't hear it. Over here. We'll get it straight. Thanks, Jamie and Gary, for putting that together. Right after our groundbreaking at noon, we are having our distinguished alumni reception banquet, and so I know we haven't had that for a while, I think since before COVID maybe. So we really hope that you guys have an opportunity to come out and join us. Thank you so much this evening. I really appreciate you coming out, and hopefully we can cheer on our Cavs now. Thank you for your patience.